Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for another race here in the Rwagnation League. We are in Spain this week, and it's a very, very nice sunny Spain indeed. I'm Ben Reggie McConnell, and joining me on the caster's desk is the legendary Jamie M. Caster Elder. How are you doing?
I'm not too shabby, man. Yourself?
Not too shabby indeed. It's been an exciting season so far. Zerd is currently really dominating at the minute with 76 points on the top stop. Mizzo is
Top stop.
P2 though with 55 top step, I meant to say, but words just left me. All right, leave me alone. It's pretty tight knit everywhere else around the track. Yoltek is the best of the rest there in 11th place. But if you look at when it comes to constructors, Mercedes is currently leading it up with 94 points. Williams there at 87 points, and McLaren there in third with 57 points. And that can all change in just one race. And if you get some people on the podium step, one or two of them, it can easily give you more points than the other teams, and that is all it really is going to come down to. There's the track. As you can see, we're going to have two DRS zones, one in the middle of the track, and then one on the very long home straight. Easiest overtaking opportunity is probably going to be on the final corner down into the run-up to turn 1, where we are now underway with the qualifying, and immediately I'm going to have to straight from that, as always. What's your top 3 prediction?
I fucking hate your bus. It gets me every time.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, last time when I was editor and he started at the front, finished at the front. He is here again. Does he have the pace to outdo Zerd? Or Martin G? That's gonna be the interesting one. I've just seen Brownie in another league race. He looks terrific in top form, as you ever might see with Brownie. It was here. He has literally just raced it, so he's fresh from putting it into the wall.
Wait, he put it in the wall?
No, he stayed out of the wall. Just
okay.
he had a terrible race.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, wet qualifying, dry race. So yeah.
And he had, now he's here to go and do it all again. I mean, the qualifying is dry, at least for now, so he's got that going for him. But is that going to be a benefit to him? Who knows? Brownie is a very hit and miss kind of driver, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, I don't suspect we'll see him on the podium at all during this. So I'm going with a traditional approach. Mercedes lock out the front row. So Zerd from Martin G with Enniton just behind.
And Nick turn, okay.
Yeah, well, good form.
I'm actually going to go very off-kilter today.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to be very, very out of there and say this is going to be... I think this is actually going to be a track that Mercedes don't particularly do well in. I think Martin G might do well. Oh, Hazard! What's happened there? It looked like there was contact between Hazard and someone else on the track. I didn't see who it was.
Didn't see it. I was on board with Yawn. You said the fastest time.
I'm amazed. I don't know
Hazard's off track.
That's what I'm
What's
saying.
he doing over there?
So it looked like, I mean, I wasn't really looking at him that much because he was going so slowly. I just happened to have left him on there whilst I was looking at the drivers. And as I was looking at the drivers, I could just see Hazard's car just disappear off towards the wall, and he's lost front and left wing. So he's lucky to still be in the race, if I'm in truth honest, because the impact was pretty hard. But yeah, he is definitely going to need to. He's definitely going to need to do something different, I guess. So yeah, just going back to what I was saying. Zerd's fastest lap time was 1:19.026. I actually think that Zerd is going to struggle here today in particular. I may be wrong, and I probably am going to end up eating my own words. And I hope for his sake that I am wrong. But the sort of times I've been seeing from the other drivers, Jon is very fast here. He's actually 35th fastest in the world in time trial on this track, as he sent me a screenshot earlier today. So that's a very sort of suggestive situation.
But time trial means nothing.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But in qualifying, it does. As you've seen in previous race at Rwagnation leagues when he had the likes of people, he was always very quick in the qualifying, but not when it came to race. So with that in mind, I am going to go Mine G. Oh, no, actually. Can I come back to you on this? Can I come back to you on this?
No, you've got to decide before Fastesti sets a time. Never mind, he set a time.
He's already set a time.
Oh, I thought it was going to be quicker than that.
If everyone goes on the mediums, I'm going to go...
I think we should have a prediction for the medium tyres.
Yeah.
Unless someone hard gets into the top lot, which you don't expect to see. We should just ignore straight out the people are going for the softer compound. because it kind of messes up our predictions all the time.
Yeah, and I think if we took them out of that, I think we'd pretty much always get it right.
Wow.
So I'm actually going to go very off here. I'm going to go at Nixon P1. I'm going to go Jon P2, and then I'm going to go Martin G P3.
Interesting. We'll see how that pans out for you. A few people are putting laps. Zerd's on his second flying lap at the moment. I'm just
Yotik's
watching.
actually starting a hot lap now. Do you want to do an onboard?
There he is. Well, okay. Well, that's a good place to start on the home straight. Sort of downhill down towards turn 1, and you'll see how much track people use there. Look at that. Look how far out to the left he gets. He throws into turn 1, sort of chicanes into 2. Then this long turn 3. Look out for that Haas facing the wrong direction. Try not to clip his rear end as they do in the real F1 last season. Cut out to turn 4. Tight entry, but opens up. It's an overtaken opportunity, but you have to be a bit brave to go for it because it's not a usual place that you go for it. You hope they make a mistake at turn 3. This is turn 5. Tight hairpin. It falls away from you as you go downhill, down towards turn 6. Little kink. Then we come into 3 corners that you'll see cars struggling. 7 and 8. If they get this one wrong, they can go into the wall. They get the next one wrong, turn 9, they can go into the wall. It's so easy to make mistakes through there. Yelsek nails those perfectly. Coming out down towards turn 10, end of the first DRS. Tight, slow hairpin. Then turn 11. Careful, there's a little bump here. Don't hit that at the wrong angle because that will send you off. It's 2 cars have DNF'd. I wonder if they came together. Through turn 12, the long hairpin. Downhill, down through 13, into the chicane. Oh, a lot of things happening that we're missing here. Through 14 and 15, the long right-hander at turn 16. Oh! And there's a lot of cars in the middle of the track. What's happened there?
I do not know. I was so focused on the onboard, I could just see lots of penalties being issued out left, right, and centre. So we have lost Rainbow, we have lost Meister, and we did see, I think it was Gooby who had a time penalty for colliding with. It looked like it was Rainbow on the track.
Gooby's only just crossed the start-finish line.
Well, we do have live stewarding, so we might be able to get an answer as to exactly what that was soon enough. That's the gist of the report, I imagine.
I suspect Gooby hit Rainbow. Rainbow had already DNF'd and was ghosting. What I hope doesn't happen is that Gooby gets this overturned and then we have to rehost the lobby because that just takes more time. I saw that earlier today. A car ran out of fuel and tried to go uphill and it couldn't go uphill. And as such, someone hit it. It couldn't go up the hill. That was his excuse anyway. And he was hit by his teammate.
That's quite tragic.
Yeah.
Well, our driver that we've put in the top 3, each of us in different places, is at Nickturn. He's about to start a hot lap now, currently going around the final corner.
Who's his teammate? No minute.
Yeah,
I was just wondering if Copy was nearby to give a tow down the straight, but Copy's making mistakes at turn 3 instead.
Yeah. Copy's someone I want to sing and dance about, but I just can't. I'm not seeing anything to really shout about. He's a good driver, you know, you can't take that away from him, but Nickton and Copy's relationship kind of reminds me of Hamilton and Bottas. Hamilton takes all the glory, he really does everything and smashes everything out there, and Bottas is a really good wingman, and it's the same situation here. Nickton really does have the pace and flies away with it. And Copy's a very good wingman for Nickton.
Copy.
That's all it is.
If he's going to watch this back, don't take this the wrong way, Copy, but he's a poor man's Hazard. By that I mean he doesn't do anything spectacular, he doesn't seem to get involved in much, he just does what he needs to do and finishes the race, but is slower than Hazard. Hazard is that driver that will just go round and round and round, doesn't do anything spectacular, finishes the race and gains 5 positions through penalties. Copy's quite similar, he's just a bit slow and might get a penalty or 2. So if he can up his game, then he could be great. He could be the same level as Hazard. But every league that he's in, he's also in the same league as Eniton, and as such, is their teammates. They're always teammates. I think they're both from the Czech Republic, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And as such, they're always helping each other out, and it has a detrimental effect in qualifying because you want to be doing your lap right at the very end. And he's getting a tow or giving a tow. One of them is getting less run time, and as such, it doesn't do them that great. It's not on this track, but you probably saw it last week. I wasn't there last week, but I'm going to assume there was some towing going on down that home straight.
I think there was, as there usually is. It's always a good bet to say, yeah, absolutely, but I don't know.
We saw him in another race, didn't we? Was that the one on Tuesday where they were doing it down the home straight?
Yeah, yep.
So it makes sense that they do it there. It looks like he's actually backed out of his lap, this copy.
Yeah. So let's have a look further up the field then, because you've got the likes of Yonti, who's got a really solid really solid position in P2. Yonti's 118.871. Mind you, he's actually only just behind him with an 18.886, and staying true to how he's been in 2019. Wemmels is on the top step with a 118.840. Wemmels has been absolutely someone who's surprised me so much this season. I don't know where the pace came from. He's absolutely flying, and it's calling for people. It's literally causing people to call out pad hacks.
He's definitely had his porridge, that's for sure. It was in Russia a month or so ago that he was going up against former Rwagnation boy Crow, wasn't he? And Crow couldn't work out how he was so quick. And
it was Germany, but yeah, I remember.
Oh, Germany.
It was crazy, yeah.
I've seen a lot of people say that pads are just as good as wheels in this game at the moment. Obviously, it comes down to the driver, because I'm a pad driver and I'm terrible. So that doesn't really say much, does it? Because I'm terrible at everything. But he's just absolutely nails it, and the gap he's got, he's only a small one over Yonti. They're both on hard tyres. Yeltek, that's not good. Oh, was that him there?
I didn't see it.
I was just on board with Zerd. I'm just trying to find...
Ideally, the sort of scenario that you want to be in Yoltek's situation is just losing a place, right? And just taking P11 and being able to really fly with it. But when you look at all the drivers below hand, every single one of them can beat Yoltek.
He is
when
now.
it comes to the qualifying. Well, sorry, they can beat that time that he's got there currently anyway, when it comes to the mediums. So Yoltek will be in a position now where he's going to be starting from quite far down. Potentially, he's going to be looking at sort of P16 being the worst case scenario. As the other two drivers, Rainbow and Meister, they've obviously retired and did slower laps. He might be stuck where he is, but just chilling, by the way. Sets a P1.
On the mediums.
It's on the mediums,
yeah,
but still 5/10 clear of Wemmels.
Yeah, well, I think we're approaching your favourite time of the day. 5 minutes left of the session, not a lot of action on track. Is it that time?
It's absolutely that time. It is the calm before the storm, as the drivers are currently sat in the pit box, prepping themselves for the final push, sort of considering what tyres they want to go on, what tyres they want to start their race on. And realistically, if you're going on anything other than mediums, you're in for a world of pain, because the softs do not do well here in the slightest. They can do well on some tracks, but this is not one of them, just purely down to how much aerodynamic grip you require. So you absolutely need to be focused on holding onto these medium compound tyres and just really pushing as hard as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Mediums will go to around 14-15 on the lap counter. Hard's not that much longer if they're going hards to hards to mediums. Softs, I think you're probably looking at about 6 laps, if that. Well, we'll soon see. 4 minutes left. Hazard is the only man on track.
He is, and I think you might be in a position today. We'll see after the qualifying session. I mean, I guess we shouldn't really say it after the qualifying session, but you might end up eating your words if Hazard ends up not doing as good a job as Copy does today. As it stands, he's not looking too well. He's done a 120.547. He's currently the slowest car on the track as it stands. Now, that's not to say that he won't improve. But the one thing we always say when it comes to Hazard is he does not do particularly great in the qualifying session. It's always when it comes down to the race where he really starts to gain his pace and gain his positions through the consistency and the consistency not just in the race pace but also in the lack of penalties. So we'll see if he does that again today. But
he'll get 2 laps though.
For once, give us a good qualifying session.
You'll have 2 laps if he wants to go for it. That's the only thing going for him at the moment. Last week he put it 14th on the grid, finished 11th. Copy started 6th, put it 7th.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
That's a big mistake.
Okay, well, I think Hazard is going to be last.
I mean, he's got another chance to go again.
But he's not got time to get back to the pits and change those tyres.
I don't think he will. I think he's going to stick it in mode 0 for everything and then just cruise round. He only did 2 corners before he lost it, so he's not taken a huge amount of life out of the tyres. But that spin wouldn't have helped him, and then the spin to get corrected again also didn't help him either. I think you may have to start prepping your speech of apology to copy.
I'll wait to the end of the race. How about that?
Okay. There needs to be a
Because
forfeit
I've seen
if you're wrong.
Hazard. I've seen Hazard come from similar places and end up with points. It's going to take a mighty effort, but it is not out of the realms of possibility. And I mean that slide could have heated up his tyres perfectly on that one spot. We'll soon see, won't we? We got Zerd on a flyer right now. Brownie's also on a flyer. Just chilling is still in the pits. He's coming out late and going on the softs. Or is he basing people?
Well, I mean, he's leaving it fine if he wants to change the tyres back again. He needs to come out the pits right now, and I think he is actually going to come out on these softs, which is concerning because they're not the tyres you want to be on, realistically.
No, it's interesting that you thought Yawn's really quick, but Yawn is having to go for soft tyres. He's chosen to come out on the softs, and that's going to be a big mistake.
Well, I actually think he won't make it to the start line.
Who? Yawn or
Just
JC? I'm watching Zerd at the moment.
So, just chilling came out of the pits. His little graphic there on the screen went from pit to outlap at the time of when the fastest lap time had been set. Which suggests to me that he's only just left the pit lane at that time. I don't think he's going to be able to make it again, but here comes Zerd now around the final corner. Is he going to be able to improve? It's looking fast. It's looking like a top spot, and that's a 1:18.020 for that man there. I did say I didn't think he was going to be fast, but he has surprised us all. It's not over yet, though, as he's just one of the first of the few drivers to actually do a fast lap. Is anybody else going to be able to beat him? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Brownie set a time. He's done for the day. He's in mode 0. He's up into P3 for now. Enter smashes it 2 tenths faster, exactly 2 tenths faster than Zerd and Mizzo, getting in that gap between Enter and Zerd. Times are flying. Has Zerd just gone a bit too early? He's backed out. He's done. And Yawn might have just retired straight up. Where is JC? JC got across and started.
Well,
Never doubt the JC.
He probably cut the corner a fair amount, that'd be why he did it.
Well, yeah.
Makes sense. Plenty of opportunities to do that on this track. There's Zerd very much out of the way on the track there. Here he is coming flying. He was fast in the mediums, not as quite as fast as the others though as it stands, but yeah, where is my G?
Coming up to the last few corners. Yonti's not far behind him as well. Yonti's another man that could spoil the party. YG coming around the final. P3. Yonti
This is looking pretty. If it stays like this, I've got the 1 and 3.
What about Yonti though? No.
P5. So,
JC then. I think
and
you
I
have
think he
the one.
might take it. I mean, we did say we were going to take out the softs.
I think you've got it.
Although it might work out. I think I've got the 1 and 3. It looks like, unless JC can spoil the fun for me. But he's just ran it deep. That's it. That's him out. That's his qualifying session done. He's going to take P8 at best, and I've got the 1 and 3. I nailed it.
Yeah. Well, I got Martin G in the top 3. I was close. I had Zerd P4. So yeah. I mean, you got the 1 and 3. That's the important part, isn't it? At the end of the day. And
yeah,
we're just waiting for Mizzo now to retire from session, and we are done.
So, and Nickton takes the pole position today with a 1:17.820. Mizzo there in second place with a 1:17.925. Martin G with a solid third place with a 1:18.017. And Zerd 0.003 of a second behind in fourth place.
That's how close you were to not getting that right.
Yep. And I mean, I made it sound like Zerd was much slower than Martin G in this race. They couldn't have been any closer than that, really, let's be honest. There is the rundown at the end of that qualifying session. Etnickton takes pole position, with Mizzo chasing him in P2. Martin G takes third, with Zerd ending the second row of the grid on fourth place. Yonsi takes fifth, with Copy in sixth. Wemmels takes seventh, Just Chillin takes eighth. Brownie takes ninth, with BK, his teammate, in 10th. And Shadows and Dust is the best of the rest there in 11th place. Yorn in 12th, Yotek 13th, Maester 14th, as we saw he got retired, same with the Yotek, and same as Rainbow. Fossetti in that little sandwich there, he's 15th, Yubi is 17th. He does have a 5-place grid penalty, and Hazard there in 18th place.
Are we
Now, we didn't get
restarting, or-
any... Say again, sorry?
Are we restarting or are we going? Looks like we're going.
I think we're going.
'Cause from
It's
what
not
I've
been
understood,
reported, there's
Gooby's
not going to be any
happy.
changes as it stands, so we are going to carry on and continue in this manner. So bear in mind, we don't know exactly what happened at the end, in that collision between Gooby.
Gooby assumed that he was going to ghost. Ghosting is off. He crashed.
Well, that's on him in that respect, then,
Yeah.
I think.
If ghosting was on and he still crashed, then yeah, you might say, yeah, okay, that's a bit unfair. He should have ghosted by that point. But if ghosting is off and you crash into someone that you think is going to ghost, that's your own damn fault, in all fairness. Harsh,
Yeah.
but fair.
Right, here we go. So we are going to get underway with the formation lap, and for once I'm going to take point here on the predictions for the race.
Oh, you're that
I'll save you a
confident
bit of time.
about yours?
I'm that confident. Looking at how good
Christ.
my 1 and 3 predictions were, I got 66% of it right. 66.6% of it right, sorry. I do think that Nickton will cross the line first. Whether or not he takes the win today, I don't know. Yonti, I don't know. There's just something about Yonti that makes me want to put him back on the top step.
From
But
fifth?
there's also something about me that makes me not want to put him there as well. I'm going to put Yonti on the top step today. He is fast and has been exceptionally quick just recently. Zed has been he's like a roller coaster. He's been very up and down. He's had good times and he's had some seriously bad times. It's not looking like he's looking too hot today. If he's not on pole position, he's not looking too hot in my opinion. I think now, yes, he's P4, but I think Yonti will be on him in a flash. And when it comes to the race pace, Yonti is much faster there than he is in the qualifying. His difficulty is he does quite often get himself a penalty or two. So I'm going to go with Yonti finishing the race after penalties are taken into account in P1. I think Nickton will take P2, and then in P3 I'm going to go with Mizza.
Right, well, I'm just counting on a big first lap accident for my prediction, because I like those. I'm going for Martin G to take the win. Mizzo and Eniturn are both DNFing. Copy will surprise us and take P2, and Wombles will take P3. I'm just going
So
crazy.
yeah,
'cause
Martin G win, Copy P2, Buenos P3. Is that
yes,
right?
I'm going big and
Okay.
crazy. I
Well,
like
I mean,
my
that is a
strange
big,
predictions.
and that is a crazy, but
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he did that a couple of races ago, and you
I
fell
think
flat in the face.
yes, but I've also done it when I've said, watch out for them, here they're going to come flying through. I'm also looking at Yeltek, looking in down in 13th. He's got pace on the hard
He does.
tyres. What can he do from there? I reckon he can get top 6.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. That's all we can do as it stands, as the lights are on here, and as soon as they go out, we're going to be underway with the Spanish Grand Prix, and immediately there was no delay there at all. Mizzo is going to be looking for a run in towards turn 1. This is the crucial corner. If you can get there along the inside, then you are going to benefit. Martin G is coming around the outside here of Mizzo and having a good old wobble. It's now going to be too wide. Big contact. There's Mizzo gone. There's more cars gone. That's third falling down the order as well. Tons of contact left, right, and centre. Gooby gets caught up as well. There is just so many. Zerdas retired from the session. He is out, and Fossetti and Mizzo, the two McLarens, are down the field in 16th and 17th place.
I did predict a big incident on the opening lap, and I wasn't expecting both McLarens to be involved in it. I thought Enitter might get someone sneakily trying to set one down the inside on him on turn 1 and causing that, but it's Fossetti and Mizzo, the two big losers, along with Zerd then. Zerd just, I don't think he crashed out, did he? I think he might have straight up retired.
Yeah, he did. Just straight retired. There was no. His car was still moving. He was just fed up. So he's out of this race, but somebody who's really looking good is his teammate, Martin G, up there in P2. 4/10 off the back of it, Nick Turn. He's looking hot, he's looking special, and it's looking like your prediction for P1 might actually come true, unless Ed Nick Turn has anything to say on it. But it's also looking pretty good here for Yonti in P3.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eyes on the grid at the back. A lot of dicing going on back there. Yeltek has made ground. Rainbow, huge gains, 8 positions gained on this opening lap. Yeltek up 4, Yorn up 5, so Toro Rosso's having the best start of the lot. Big losers obviously Mizzo down 14, and a lot of pit stops taking place at this precise moment in time.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a cheeky move from GC. Didn't see him
Where is
coming. He's just taken Yeltek down the inside into turn 1.
He looks like he's on fire today. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's looking pretty good. So there is an investigation underway between Mizzo and Nickturn as a result of that contact earlier on the first lap. As you saw, it caused a huge collection of cars there, tons of people into the pits as a result of it. Not quite sure exactly whose fault it was, but that's down to the stewards to work out and for us to enjoy. Buemos is catching up to the back of Yonti. You can see him right there. Yonti's actually fallen quite far off the back of Martin G. Now definitely outside of DRS. We will not be using DRS this lap though. It will be next lap when that is enabled, and it won't be until we get to the middle of the track again before they can actually use it.
Yeah, its detection point is just before turn 9. Well, I was going to say between 8 and 9, but it pretty much is. The detection point for the one on the home straight is pretty much at the pit entry where it starts hatching off. So that's that one. And that's going to be enabled right about now as Eniturn sets the fastest lap. Master G trying to hold on to the back of him, 0.8 behind right now. Some positions changing behind. JC making moves on Rainbow at the moment. Is he going to send one on him? He looks like he's going to. And try round the outside of turn 1. But he will have the inside for the next corner. Will he have space to do it? He does. JC up to P8. Oh no, Rainbow's come straight back at him. JC's being hung out to dry on the dirty line. Rainbow's got it, but JC's going to be on the outside here. Has he got it back? He's ahead for now, but Rainbow comes straight back at him. Oh, Yeltek nearly losing the back end. His back end stepped out on him, and he's trying to take advantage of these two scrapping. He's just looking for a spot, just slide one down the inside. But Rainbow staying ahead of JC for now, and we're about to see some DRS.
Yeah, we are indeed. And the thing is, you also got to think about the fact that Yeltek will have the benefit of 2 cars worth of dirty air, but JC got an absolute slingshot out of turn 9. He's now going to be leading round, coming on the outside here of Rainbow. That he needs to hold his car alongside of him if he can, but he just can't, and he kind of predicted that was going to happen. Rainbow just bounced over the curb, came shooting across the track, and it's very lucky there that JC managed to get out of the way just in time in order to avoid that collision. Otherwise that would have been both of them very much in damage and in trouble. But still, as it stands, they are staying where they are. Martin G, half a second, closing in on it. Nickturn. This is looking fast between the two of them. It's still at Nickturn leading the race. Martin G will not get the overtake done here, and I've heard from the stewards that on the opening track incident between Mizzo and Nickturn is going to be investigated after the race, as it's just not clear enough just yet.
Fair enough. JC has made his moves on Rainbow. He's up to P8 now. Can go charging after his one of his best friends on the track, I think, in Beaker. That should be a fun one to watch. We've seen them scrap a fair bit. But Yeltek is still trying to make moves on Rainbow as well. Rainbow is going backwards slowly but surely. And Yeltek just got caught out big time there from Rainbow's braking. Wing damage on Yeltek. And he'll be bringing this one back to the pits, I suspect, right about now. Well,
yeah, that in-play on the left has disappeared, which does mean then that he's going to be struggling through the right-handers, of which one of them's coming up now. I'm going to stay on board with him as he comes around one of the harder right-handers.
So careful, isn't he?
All right. Yeah, he's got to take it slow. He's going to lose so much time as a result of that. He's going to be chucking himself back into the pits, like you say. But Beaker closing up on Yorn.
Yeah, 0.749, 0.7 now is the gap. The lead out front is just under a second as well. Bommels is closing up onto Yonti. We could see some battles going on here. It's all about that final corner. If you nail that corner, you've got a great chance, even from about 0.8 back. If you don't nail it, and then you've got a chance of losing a place or just getting nowhere near the guy in front. Yonti got a decent drive, Bommels got a decent drive, so there's nothing there. Mason and Rainbow swapping places. In the last of the points places, Rainbow now dropping back to P10, and he's going to have a hazard on his tail. pretty sharpish, I would have thought.
Yeah, he is. So now Yoltek's in a real predicament. So he has pitted, he's gone onto the medium compound tyres, which tells us one of two things. He's definitely going for a two-stopper, but is it going to be another set of mediums later on, or is he going to try and stretch these mediums to go for a soft stint? It's possible, but it would not be ideal.
I think whatever he's going to do, he's going to go onto hards. That strategy's not really going to work. It's only 5 laps in. If that was 15, then yes. I think he's just going to be too short. He might double stop onto mediums. Or he started on hards or mediums? I think he started on hards, doesn't he?
Who, Yoltek? He's starting on hards,
yeah. So he'll double mediums from here.
Yeah.
Mediums will do.
He's going to have to. He hasn't really. There's no way that he's going to try and stick it out onto the softs, in my opinion. I think it's just far too risky. And Yoltek's not the kind of guy who would ignore that. He knows that the situation is exactly that. So we'll see how he does. Right, Rainbow. Yep.
Almost up into P3. Taking Yonti down the home straight. Relatively simple DRS overtake. He's now going to be setting sights on Martin G, who's actually closing up onto the back of Enterturn. We could see a battle for the lead in the next lap or so. Pit window for mediums is going to be around 14:15 time.
1 second. Maybe. Rainbow's coming down the inside here. I've made sure there's contact between the two of them. He went for the inside line. It didn't quite pan out how he wanted it to, but he did not really lose anything other than a bit of time between him and Meister. Meister would have got a bit of a shock there, and now he'll be keeping his eyes firmly locked on those mirrors, trying to protect himself and make sure that that doesn't happen again. Yeah,
and he's going to now try and rebuild and get back out to the rear, and Meister's going to have DRS to help him here. 3/10 off the back as they come round this corner. Meister looks to get a decent drive. Rainbow got an alright drive, but Meister's going to hold this one with relative ease and see how they get on through these corners. I hate that turn 11. It just throws you up in the air and you sort of land. I know you don't actually go in the air, but it feels like you fly. It's like going over a humpback bridge, isn't it? You just hit it and you go, when are my wheels going to come back down? And where they're going to be facing? It's really off-putting, that little bump.
So,
Falsetti
has just retired, but that was an intentional retirement. That is not good. Falsetti might end up being in trouble for that one. Well, looking further up the field though, Rainbow's still on the back of Meister as we see again coming down the home straight. It's just about 2.5 tenths between them. Rainbow is trying his best to catch up to Meister. Now this time last lap we saw Rainbow go for a send it down the inside. Are we going to see the same thing again? He's looking for it, but it's going to be nothing, and Meister covers the line knowing that was going to happen, but that's the sort of stuff we want to see. Yoltek setting the fastest lap with a 1:21. Oh, again, another nudge, and as I predicted, Falsetti is under investigation for the intentional retirement on track.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very simple thing. Just get it to the pits and retire. That is the best thing you can do in this stage. If you don't want to race anymore, just all you've got to do is drive a lap. He retired in section 1, so he'd only just passed the pit lane when it happened. So he should really have brought it into the pits before. But I'm still watching Meister and Rainbow while keep an eye on the gaps at the front.
Yeah, exactly the same situation here. I mean, I'm seeing Martin G sort of bring the gap a bit closer, but it's not really getting anything more than that. They're already past turns 1 and 2, and it's staying about half a second. But this battle here is actually really shaping up towards Rainbow's favour. As you can see, Meister having to shake the slipstream to try and get that position secured, and it looks like it worked. But now it's all about the exit, and we've seen that Rainbow's not afraid to go in towards turn 4 and look for the inside line. Meister's known that. He obviously got a little bit of a wake-up call last time round by getting that nudge. So he's going to be looking to defend the inside as much as possible, which you can see he takes the tighter line, but he also knows that Rainbow's just a bit too far back. Nothing more can come of that.
Yeah, he'll sit back for now, just have another go next time around. They are both on the hard tyres, so they're both going to be stopping around 18, 19, 20, that sort of period, late teens really. We'll soon see. I don't think we're going to see anyone pitting for a while. I just wonder who's going to be the first one to go for that undercut. Who's going to be the first medium to blink? Is Martin G going to fancy a undercut on Enterturn and come in a lap earlier than you might expect? Or is Enterturn going to come in a lap earlier to cover off that undercut? We'll soon find out. as we're about 5 laps away from said pit window.
Yeah, thereabouts. I think.
Oh, they're close now.
IMG
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, never mind. That's the end of the first straight. I got excited.
You say that, but we've seen what Rainbow can do in those sorts of situations. I wonder if MyG's going to try the same sort of thing. He's currently sat mode 5. He's gone to mode 0 already, which tells me he's not looking for the inside line. He's
Rainbow.
just waiting for the DRS lines.
Oh, contact! They get away with it. Rainbow just holding the slide. Meister left in space. Rainbow didn't quite take the space he wanted where Meister was a little bit more. Both coming away with nothing. No damage. Just a little lost dignity, I think, for some. But I think Rainbow's all out of that after we've seen him at France. He likes that corner of the Rainbow Road, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and he's not fond of the fact that we named it after him, but it's one of the things we do. Keeping an eye out as well, further afield, the gap between these two is about the same as it is for the front runners at the minute, although that hasn't really changed at all. Something to keep an eye on though is that this scrap has gone on for such a long time that Hazard, who started so far down, is now P11 and he's right on the back of this. He's almost within DRS range of them. If he can just push himself a little bit further over the next lap or so, he will be in a position where he can benefit from
Oh, change at the lead, change at the front. Martin G going to go round the outside of it, the turn. Slides on into the lead. Sorry about that. Just sudden overtake. Martin G, your new race leader. Enter turn. Yellow fuel on enter turn. And just slightly less ERS as well. So Martin G takes the lead as Beaker comes into the pits rather early. Did he have a nose change or did he just fancy a very early pit stop? I don't know.
I don't think it was anything more than just a tyre change. I think he's just trying an early stop maybe. Maybe his tyres weren't feeling too great and he's just had to go into the mediums, the hard, sorry, but it's going to be 23 laps for him doing that and that's a very, very long stint to try. But yeah, beautiful overtake there from ING, taking race lead away from it, Nixon, and I must say, Amkasa, it's looking like your prediction is about to be nailed on the head there.
Well, I've still got to get copy up there. I got 2 out of 3 at the moment, perfect, and I've got half. I'm going to give myself half point for getting the constructor right. That's what we're doing now when I get it wrong.
Oh, okay.
No. So yeah, it's looking so far so good. The fact that Mizzo made the mistake, or had the incident at the start, helped me massively. And Martin G is flying 21.1 fastest lap on old mediums.
So Forsetti, the stewards have been in touch about his intentional retirement on track. He has been issued 3 penalty points, as it is a rule in the rules of the league to not intentionally retire on the track. If it had been a safety car, I think it would have had a bit more of a harsh punishment. But I think he understands that. It's been a rule for as long as we can remember.
It's a rule for pretty much every league, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hazard is now on the back of Rainbow. Back on to Falsetti. Does that mean McLaren has a qualifying ban?
Well, there had already been one, I think it was last week, when Mizzo and Brownie both had qualifying bans. If you remember, Brownie had a big contact with him and Buemels and Nickton, and so Brownie got an instant qualifying ban as an accumulation of all the penalty points it accrued. Mizzo had one as well for a minor collision, but it was just again accumulation of all the penalty points. And now we might be seeing Rossetti get one, but I don't know how many penalty points he's had. That's actually, if I remember correctly, that's the first time I've seen him in trouble.
I could find out, but I won't.
Well, I mean, you have to pause that thought anyway, because look at Nickton. He is on the back here of Martin G. He's not going to necessarily attack it. He's in mode 2, because he knows he has to keep the gap pretty short in order to use the fact that he's got no fuel and just push together to hold on to the back of him, regenerate that fuel quite a considerable amount. But if you look in that bottom right, there's a green spanner there, which tells us he is in his pit window.
Yeah, just a quick flag, yellow flag in sector 2, gone already, so not too much to worry about. It's back again though. Who's causing that? Not sure.
No.
Just having a look at Shadows and Dust, he's lagging all over the place.
But he's in sector 3, so it can't be him. Back again. Who is it? It could be Mesa. He's having trouble. He's run wide a couple of times there. I mean, the battle between these two is still ongoing. Nothing's changed there.
Mizzo and Beaker. Just flicking through to see who's causing the yellow flag. Mizzo and Beaker just had an overtake. Maybe it's been caused by Falsetti's corpse.
But he crashed here, which is still sector 1.
Well, I'm on board with Mizzo. Let's have a look. See where if we can see any flags. As we said, it disappears. Great.
I have had confirmation, by the way, that they are the first penalty points issued to Falsetti, and we have race leader has decided to come into the pits. He's going for the early pit stop to try and secure himself, and Copy's also trying the undercut as well.
Interesting. We'll see if they work out. I think Master G might struggle towards the end of the race. Eniturn's probably going to do a couple more laps on these. He doesn't need to come in as early, so he'll be quite comfortable with that. Let's have a look at Hazard and Rainbow there on the hards. Hazard's close-ish, but not close enough unless Rainbow... Is Hazard feeling it? No, he's not feeling it. That would have been a dive and a half. But you never know.
Yeah. I mean, looking at how his qualifying went, I don't think he's feeling particularly comfortable here. Neither is Gooby with a 3-second time penalty. He's already in P16, and his qualifying was awful as a result of the collision that he had further down. It is just not working out. I've been told that the yellow flag is indeed just a bogey, nothing more.
That's good.
I can live with that.
Well, as long as it's not an actual on-track flag, which prevents overtaking, that's where it becomes an issue. Also, esports don't really require you to slow down on wave double yellows, do they? And prepare to stop. That's one thing they've got advantage. They can just keep driving. Editon has come in. That's a little earlier than I suspected. So is Yonti. Bowles is staying out, so Bowles takes hold of the race lead. Where is Martin G? Just got to go on board with him. Mace a second or so behind him. Martin G's got free air in front of him. Will he have Anyturn in front of him or behind him? I think it might be behind him. About to find out.
It's going to be close. It's going to be tight. Yonti
Oh, it's just behind him.
Yeah.
And he's got
Well,
slot
actually, look
right
at this. Martin G is just ahead. And it's not as far away as I expected it to be. It looks like the in-lap from at Nickturn was not fast enough, but Martin G's out-lap was just a touch faster. And by that, I mean literally a couple of tenths. He's managed to extend what was 5 tenths to 9 tenths. So he's on the limit. It could easily go either way, but there needs to just be clean and consistent racing. And this has now brought a big battle for, well, current P2, but net, realistically, is just going to stay the same.
Well, you say that, but if these guys start getting into scrap, they can start losing time quite comfortably to Bommels. If Bommels goes out for another lap, he might end up in the lead if these guys were scrapping. But it's looking like Anyturn and Martin G are just already pulled away from Meister. That gap is 1.2, 1.3 seconds. Bommels is in, and this might end up really bad for Bommels. He's going to come out probably in the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th. Which is the last place he wants to be. But if you need to pit, you need to pit. Let's see, where's he going to come out? He's on his way down.
Here we go. As Martin G is charging it down. Buemos has been passed already, like you said. Is he going to be able to get out in this, or is he going to be stuck?
He's
bang
right in the middle of it.
Yeah, he's stuck in it. It's going to be Hazard making a huge lunge down the inside in towards turn 1. He's actually just about kept his car on it. It's actually sent both of the Cessna Red Bulls out wide, and here comes Buemos going around the outside of Rainbow. Rainbow's just squeezing him to the edge, but giving him enough space to go for it. This means that Buemos is going to have to take the outside line through turn 4. It's going to be a really tough one to do, especially on brand new hards. And he's just about in it. I think that position is his.
Yeah, I thought Hazard was going to hit Bommels there. He pulled out the slipstream right as Bommels rejoined the circuit, and I thought that was going to be a big accident on the home straight. Hazard judged it to perfection and pulled out, missing Bommels. Maybe it just looked tighter from my point of view than on board with Hazard. I'm sure Hazard knew Bommels was there. Hopefully he knew Bommels was there.
I'm certain he knew he was there. I don't think... Oh, that was again. Rainbow just getting really tight on that curb, bouncing over there, but somehow they managed to keep it together and he's not lost the car. But this has brought Yonti right onto the back of this. We are still expecting 3 drivers to pit in the out of this battle here, so you're going to be seeing Meister, Hazard and Rainbow decide to chuck themselves in the pits. but they do have the benefit of going from hards to mediums, and I think they're going to be looking to do it around about lap 18 maybe, if they're really feeling comfortable. But Rainbow's under attack now from Yonti. He was defending earlier against Hazard. It didn't quite work out as well as he'd intended. Yonti's all over the back of him right now. He's going to try and take the inside line and get the cutback. Kafika gets the penalty for corner cutting. Here comes Yonti now. Somehow found some extra grip. He's going to look for an inside line here. Rainbow's going to try and cover for it, and there's going to be nothing more that he can do. Beaker has retired.
Beaker did Beaker things. 5-second penalty in the pit lane. Oh, just a little bit of nudging between Yonti and Rainbow. Rainbow is not giving this up. They're not really fighting for position, but Rainbow says, look, I don't care. I'm fighting. Why not? There's no rule saying you have to let him through because he's going faster than you, or he's on a different strategy. And he's just showing that. He's just battling. He's lost the position now, but now Yonti's going to be he's on the back of Hazard. Same esports, definitely not going to be team orders there though.
No, definitely not. Wemmels is right here on the back of Meister, who we know is on much older tyres. Look at that, 15 laps on those halves. This is now Wemmels losing time to the front runners. 3.6 seconds is how far Meister is off the back of a nick turn, and Wemmels needs to pass him ASAP, but he didn't get a good exit out of the final corner. Yes, he's probably going to be alongside him as they come towards turn 1, but in fact he's even too far back to even be in that situation.
Yeah, Yonti and Hazard going side by side through turn 1. Yonti getting a little bit on the grass. That's really hindered any chance he had of getting past Hazard. Hazard now holding on to P5. Rainbow still behind them, waiting for an opportunity to take advantage of that. Battle's going on further back as well. Yeltek is getting pressure by Brownie. It may not be for points at the moment, and they probably won't be for points at all because both those drivers will still pit. And JC in 10th hasn't pitted as yet. So that's... Yeah, sorry, he has pit. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. He has pit, so they'll drop back another 20 seconds. And fastest he leaves the session.
Oh, that was close. There was almost a big wobble there from Yonti. Yonti now on the back of Hazard again. This is not going to be an attacking opportunity through here unless Hazard makes a big mistake on this exit, and it hasn't. So Hazard needs to find a way to break the gap just a little bit further. Around 6/10 is sort of the minimum you want to be at in order to protect yourself down the home straight. But he's already had a wobble there, and he's already got Yonti less than 3/10 behind him. He could literally kiss his gearbox with that front wing. He's that close. But now this is going to be Yonti really putting the hammer down. Gets very fast around that corner, and this is Hazard. He's going to be a sitting duck now. Nothing more can be done here. There's also a battle going up ahead as Wemmels managed to get past Meister, and Yonti has done the deed on Hazard.
Yeah, simple overtake, fresher tyres. It is as simple as that. There's no two ways about it. Rainbow unable to take advantage of those two battling and get up closer to Hazard. He's half a second off the back of him. Copy is also on a different strategy, but he's 2.6 seconds off the back of Rainbow right now, and needs to close up to help with my predictions, because I had him third. Or second, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean,
somewhere up there.
He's going to gain 3 places, obviously, when these guys decide to pit, but
yeah,
that's still only going to put him P5. But again, they're still not looking good for you. It's going to be eating your words if Hazard finishes lower than Copy at the end of this race.
I know, who did I say was going to get in top 6? I think it was Hazard, didn't I, or something, or Yeltek. I think I might be eating my words on Yeltek, that's for sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, he got caught out. He was looking good, and I think he would have been bang on the nose had that incident not happened. But obviously it did happen, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. So he's going to be down there in P11 as it stands. He's going to end up pitting and then probably going on to another set of mediums, but that's all it's going to be. I actually don't think he can even go into another set of mediums. I think he's used them all on the qualifying and this lap.
Well, then he might as well pit now. If he hasn't got any mediums left, why wait? Get the hards on, get as much use out of them as possible. Those mediums are starting to fall off. If you don't have any spares, then yeah, come in. I think he was coming in this up. I think we're about to see a flurry of pit stops.
Yeah, I think we are as well. I mean, Meister needs to make sure he gets in quick enough so he doesn't get stuck in with all these other drivers that are just behind him. If he does have any problems doing that, he will lose a lot of time. It's not that far away between him and Hazard. It's only just about 1.8 seconds separating the two of them. And that can easily change just in one little mistake on the in lap. we'll keep an eye as well further afield as that Nick Turn is right here on the back of Martin G. This is the first time in a while we've seen that Nick Turn really properly pressuring Martin G. But he does still have the yellow fuel warning light. That could easily change at the drop of a hat, remember? And I think ultimately all it's going to come down to is how good can Nick Turn utilize the slipstream and DRS from Martin G. Also, if you look at the ERS levels between the two,
I was about to mention.
Nick Turn is managing it like a champ. You would think that the way that how he's so close, he's either dumping a load of fuel or dumping a load of ERS, and he's not dumping a load of ERS. I mean, he just has a fuel warning light on, which tells us it's likely it's going to be burning a lot of that fuel away.
Yeah, he had double, and still has double of what Martin G has. It's actually now about 3 times as much. He's currently sitting pretty on 80%. Martin G is on 20%. So he's just managing it to a champ. And there you go, look, pit stop flurry, as I said.
Yeah, you couldn't have nailed that any more on the point. There could be 6 cars into the pits, all
7.
having different, 7 now with Gooby getting in there as well. I don't think we've seen Shadows and Dust chucking himself in there, but 6 cars in, 6 cars out, 7 sorry, and
shake it all about.
The majority of them went for another set of mediums, including Yoltek.
Brownie didn't. I don't know if it is that his second stop then. I think must be. Yeah, so that's Brownie's second stop. So he's done a medium, hard, or hard, medium. I don't know, something.
I think if I remember correctly, he actually started on the hard compound and went to medium and now back to hard again. But again, same scenario as last lap. Nick Turn is on the back of Martin G. The thing to note though is how much better Nick Turn is doing in comparison to Martin G when it comes to ERS management. And Nick Turn is literally applying enough pressure for Martin G to really commit and push his ERS levels as far as he can. And this isn't the first time I've seen this. Me and you commentated him, and just the other day, I think it was in China, and he was really struggling to manage his ERS levels to a point where he was able to keep it together. If you look at it, it's like he just turns it off too late, and that's how he's not really benefiting on recharging it. So give it another lap. I think Nick Turn will be in a position where he's got no choice but to overtake him. But I have just seen the yellow fuel warning light flicker off. It keeps going back on again. But he is now at a point where he will have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race.
Just about, yeah. So I think what Martin G needs to do is just needs to put it in mode 0 for pretty much the entire lap, other than on the straights, and just save up as much as you can. Don't need to use mode 4 unless Enter turns right on your gearbox, and Enter turns right on your gearbox. It's mode 4 time on these straights.
Yeah, this is what I was saying, you know, and Martin G didn't manage his ERS levels enough, and now Nick Turn's in a position where he hasn't really got much of a choice but to overtake here. He could turn it off, but he knows this is go time, this is the opportunity. Slipstream is being fully utilised here. Martin G goes defensive as he comes up towards it. He's now put himself dead centre in the track. This is now a predicament for Nick Turn to think about, as he's going to have to choose which one he wants to go for. There is contact between the two of them, but they are still keeping it side by side. Martin G will take the inside line in towards turn 3. No damage cross, but there's more contact as Nick Turn carries a lot more pace through that corner. But somehow Martin G holds on as we come towards turn 4. There's no inside gap there for Nick Turn to capitalise on, and we are going to be going one more time here in Spain.
I thought we were about to see Martin G going one more time round about doing donuts at turn 1. He looked to just step out that back end after the contact with Enter and survive somehow as Yoltek goes fastest of everyone down there in 11th place. He's got a chance of points if he can really turn the wick up. It's a big ask though to gain that much time on someone on the same age tyres as you, but you never know.
No, I mean he is quick, but he just hasn't put enough time into this track, I don't feel. Nixon, that was a big tank slapper there. He caught it nicely, still together, still doing okay, but I think it's the fact that he's been running in the dirty air for such a long time, because he's not really been breaking it off a bit. It looked like he did there. I think he knows. I think I just read that situation perfectly. He's been running so close to the back of Martin G for a while now. He's not been able to really do anything more other than just manage his tyres altogether. He is still here. He is still within DRS range of Martin G, but he has to reset his car a little bit, and I don't mean ERS levels, I mean purely brakes and tyre temperatures and engine temperatures getting a little bit too hot.
Yeah, but that's going to be good for Martin G. If Martin G is in a similar sort of situation, he's going to be so much easier to cool his car down because he's got no one in front of him. Anyturn has Martin G in front of him, giving him some of his heat back towards him. And if Anyturn starts dropping off, Martin G will be able to savour some of his ERS as well. And it's basically a double-edged sword for Anyturn. Do you keep up the pressure on Martin G and hope you get past him? Or do you back off, cool your car down, but give Martin G some more ERS?
I don't think Nickton realises how low Martin G's ERS actually is.
Well, he might be able to hear us.
He's good. He knows he's comfortable. You can tell from that alone. And I think regardless of how much information you can get from his Jeff about Martin G, you know that just looking at his levels, he's 86%, he's cozy, he's happy right now. You can just keep chucking it into mode 3, keep going to mode 4 for a little while down the home straight, fully utilise the DRS that he's got now to just bring that gap a little bit closer each lap, and then ideally in another lap's time, because again, looking at the ERS levels, it's 33% right now, and that's in the braking zone of turn 1. Keep an eye out throughout, and we'll see that ERS level just start to drop. He's in mode 5 now. That's how much he's trying to just pull away. He keeps mode 5 in it just to get that extra bit of grip and push away, but he's chucking the ERS in the bin every time he does it.
Yeah, a little battle going on for 9th and 10th. Hazard and Rainbow. Rainbow's going to get DRS down the home straight. I think Hazard is a sitting duck here, or a sitting bull in that car as the Toro Rosso goes flying past. What's Hazard got in response?
Red, that's for
Nothing.
sure, isn't he?
He's not that red in the face just yet. He's not too embarrassed. But Rainbow up to P9, same age tyres. I don't think Rainbow's got the pace in him to catch up to Meister, but it'd be interesting to see.
Well, I mean, he's not that far off. He's only 1.5, and now he's being released on Hazard. I think he might close up sooner than you think. I actually think Meister is looking really abnormally slow today. I've not seen anything from Meister in a little while where I can go, holy, this guy is insane. I've not put him in the top 3 predictions for a while.
Anyturn just gave the dirtiest corner cut on the second part of the chicane. Surprising, didn't get any penalties for it. I think you must have missed it because you would have said exactly the same. Yep. It was like he didn't even try for the apex. I think we might see some Anyturn penalties soon.
Well, I mean, it's not out of his character, is it, to be getting these penalties? We have seen it a few times where he just runs a bit deep, gets himself a couple of penalties, and it's cost him a few races wins a couple of, in the past. So I want to see a more consistent Nick 10 for future. It's definitely a work in progress point for him to work on, but Martin G looking hot today. He's really delivered everything he needs to. He's shown signs of weakness, don't get me wrong. I think his only real weakness is just his small little driver mechanics of ERS management. That is all I can critique him on, is purely that alone. He's a fast driver, he is consistent, you know, he's always right up there at the top, but yeah, I think once he nails the ERS management levels, I think he's going to be winning a lot more races.
Yeah, he's on 33% right now. He can't dump everything he needs when he needs it. He's going to have to save some. So yeah, Anyturn actually takes that final corner correctly this time, well, second to last corner. Let's see the gaps. 0.7 is the gap. I think Anyturn might be sitting behind for a little bit longer. He is running mode 4 to try to hold on to the back of Anyturn, onto Martin G. And Martin G's trying to do everything he can to just get rid of him. And is it a case that Anyturn is just waiting? He knows that he should know he's got the ERS to burn. And he's just playing the waiting game, wait for the last few laps, then make your move. And the problem for Anyturn now is if he picks up a penalty, which is completely within his character, best place to pick up penalties is turn 8. He's then got to get past Martin G and get a 3-second lead.
Yeah.
It's this corner there you go. That's the way they pick him up. Turn 8. I'm surprised we haven't seen too many yet.
No, it's quite lenient actually, to be honest, that track. We'll actually look a little bit further down, and Jorn is actually right here on the back of Copy. This is the first time we've seen Jorn really on fire so far in Spain. He was telling me he was looking good. He said his pace was about on par with Yonti, and as it stands, he's not quite up there with Yonti. I think Yonti must have been holding back in the practice sessions, as Jorn is trying his best to get past Copy. Copy is going defensive down into the hairpin at the end of the middle straight. It's still Copy holding on to P5. Nothing more can be done here. It's now just a case of Jorn needing to regenerate his ERS levels. Much better off is Copy, and he's usually the one we usually critique for that. He usually either doesn't use enough of it or uses too much. But look
Oh,
at
there
the
we
front
go.
runners. There it is. 3-second time penalty for Nickton. We predicted it, and it's currently the wound that's probably going to take him out of the race win if he doesn't get past and push hard. Oh, Jon and Copy at Manchester top places. Jon's through. That's down the DRS home straight. He's ahead now in turn 1. He's ahead in turn 2, and he's going to stay like that throughout turn 3 unless Copy gets an absolutely magical run through. I don't think he is. He's looking good, but not enough to be able to pull him back.
No, Etienne's big mistake was actually on the approach to a corner, approach to turn 1. You don't often see it, but you see them using that extra bit of tarmac to get a better sweep through turn 1, and Etienne just used a bit too much. As a result, picks up that 3-second penalty, and now he's got a lot to do. And when I say a lot, I mean a huge amount. He's got to burn so much to stay on the back of Martin G, and to try and get in front of him. I think it might be a little too much to ask.
Mizzo Brownie there on contact. Oh, that was almost a problem there. Mizzo went for a gap down the inside that just didn't exist. Brownie held his line. There was no reason for him to move at all. And Mizzo, just a little touch there between him and Brownie. And Mizzo was the one who lost out more than anything. And ultimately, that was all down to him in the first place anyway. So it's all about for P12. This is not points position. That 3-second time penalty will pretty much cement the fact that he's not going to get in a position now unless Brownie has penalties as well, which I don't think he does. But the Tech, there you go. There's another one. He is closing in on this battle for P10, but that 3-second time penalty means that he's going to lose out there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him. He was looking in a good place to get some points today, and I think he's going to come away with absolutely nothing unless someone has a big accident and retires. But still, some battles starting to hang around. Etnerton is still on the back of Martin G. Don't get me wrong, Martin G could still pick up a penalty, and that will change everything. They've probably all had several warnings. They're probably all on their last warning by now. I think we might see one. You never know.
We might. Ennington is trying to now attack, but I think he's left it a little bit too late for this, because the second he gets past Martin G, he's going to be in a pretty bad scenario altogether. The fuel is not going to be very much favoured towards Ennington, and it's something he doesn't really account for is these penalties, even though he should, because he gets these up quite often. It's now the opportunity for Ennington. DRS wing wide up, he's already in mode 4 as well. This is going to be Ennington going in towards Martin G on turn 1, but it's looking like Martin's going to hold the inside. This means that Ennington has no other choice but to stay around him on the outside there. It's going to be very tight through turn 2, but somehow Ennington is ahead for now because Martin G gets the inside through turn 3, and that gives him such a better run, but he might see him going towards turn 4. Are we going to see a dive down the inside? He's looking for the cutback, but Martin G knows it. He read that situation perfectly. He closed the inside, says, nope, not today, Ennington. Thank you for your time penalty earlier. You've made it so all I have to do is hold you back, and you're in trouble.
Yeah, and he might even lose the place to Bommels. Bommels is half a second now away from taking the place off Ennington, assuming Bommels doesn't pick up any penalties. And if these guys keep battling, Bommels might actually end up with the race lead. Ennington round the outside. No. Yes. No. Yes. Yes!
So
it is a yes! He's made it.
He's done
Squeeze.
it now, though. He's done it in the wrong place of the track. Because now he's set himself up in an area where he's already had bad exits anyway. Martin G gets a much tighter one. You can see it, Nixon again.
There,
just
that's
cut
that corner
so severely. And this has actually put Martin G back on the attack now. Mode 5. He's already going to get him before we even get past the end of the pit lane. He's already done and dusted. Ed Nixon is so far back, he can't even look to go back on a cutback. It's now just reset stations. The one thing that is in Ed Nixon's favour is Martin G is severely low on ERS.
One thing that's not in his favour, though, is the man in third place. 2.7 seconds after their little squabble. Bommels doesn't need to do much, really. He just needs to stay there. Let these guys scrap it. What's going to happen is either they're going to finish as they are, one of them's going to get damaged and end up having to fall back, or they're going to come off, or Martin G's going to pick up penalties. It's going to be in Bournemouth's favour just to sit there. Doesn't need to take any risks. He knows these guys are fighting. Just be there and pick up the scraps when it comes to it.
Yeah, and he's actually now in the back of the shot. For a while, we've not seen him sort of involved in that scenario altogether, and is actually starting to happen. There's also a battle going on for P8 at the minute. Hazard has brought himself just inside the DRS range of Mesa. Nothing's going to happen as of yet, but it's a very touch and go sort of situation for them. Nick Turn on the back of Martin G again, cuts that corner so severely. He doesn't have the drive out of the corner that he needed. He's going to have DRS. He's going to be able to really close up here, but I think they're going to be going side by side in towards turn 1.
He's in mode 2. He's not going to be anywhere near. And yeah, he's
I
just...
thought he was going to run into the back of him there for a second.
These guys are good. They know what they're doing. And so keeps making mistakes at that final chicane. He just goes too deep into turn 14, and this actually then has to cut turn 15. And he's probably... He's done it twice in the last 2 laps, I think. And I think next time he does it, he's going to be hit with a penalty. And that's going to really ruin any chance he's got of taking the race win. He will still hold on to the podium unless Yonti has something magic in his car. It's going to be something seriously magic, though. That's another corner cut from Edison.
A full 10 seconds is the gap between Nick Turn and Yonti right now. And Nick Turn again on the back of Martin G. This is not going to be anything just yet, but remember, if you watch the way he goes through the final chicane, it's like he's trying to carry so much pace through it, purely because he knows of how important the exit is of that corner. But what he doesn't realise is the way that he's taken it is actually far slower than he needs it to be. Look, he cuts it again so severely. I don't know how he's getting away with it.
I don't know either. He must be racking up the warnings. He's done it 3 times out of 3 laps. It's not working for him. He's in mode 4 again. Is he going to have a shot on Martin G? Martin goes defensive. Anyturn just tries to take to the outside. Has to go nowhere. Nowhere for him to go now. Martin G holding on for the race win. We've got 1 lap and a few corners left.
Yep, not long to go. And this battle for P8 is only extended actually to 4 cars now. So Mesa, Hazard, Rainbow and Yoltek all within attacking range, although Rainbow's now just stepped outside of it, but that's because Yoltek is on the back of Rainbow. He's got the DRS, he actually gives him the flick there. That's the McLaren flick. You're in the wrong car for that one, but he pulls it off nonetheless, gets himself up in a P10, and now he's going to be setting his sights on Hazard. Hazard is also setting his sights on Meister. This gap is closing in pretty rapidly as Hazard has made a mistake there, runs wide, but Meister also didn't get the best line through that corner at all. And Hazard trying to bring himself closer to the Alfa Romeo, and it's just not working out for him right now. And we have to keep our eyes in 2 locations as Martin G is also under attack, and we're coming through the final sector again, almost in a position where we might see more problems here for Nickton if he cuts that corner just too severely, but he's done it perfectly. The back marker will be in aid of Martin G as he will get the slipstream, or albeit just a touch. But this is 4.8 tenths being the gap between the two. Nickton really charging now. He's going to be trying to take the outside line. Martin G held it. This is the final lap, remember. This is crucial. Martin G cannot afford to make a mistake. He cannot afford to give him the inside line through turn 3.
Let him go. Let him go.
That's Ed Nickton now into race lead. But remember, the 3-second time penalty that Ed Nickton is holding on to. This is now Martin G to hold on to this for the race win. And Ed Nickton needs to find magic level of pace.
If I was Martin G, I would just stay where you are. Don't try and make a pass. You know Editon, hopefully you know Editon's got that 3-second penalty. Let him go. Keep him within the 3 seconds, but don't try and fight it. Editon's making mistakes there. There's a little wobble coming off turn 8, sorry. That could have been curtains for him. And Editon is getting a bit of slipstream then from Shadows and Dust. Although it's an AI, so he doesn't gain anything. Although it's crucial that he gets past this car. It won't ghost for him. And Shadows and Dust is currently disconnected.
Oh, Hazard! No, things have just gone terribly wrong for Hazard. He has gone off. That's in turn 4, but we need to quickly go back up to the race leaders as they come through the final 2 corners. And Nickton will be crossing the line in first place, but he will lose that place to Martin G and Buemels. Martin and Nickton will fall to P2, and there's Buemels. So now, Martin G in first place, Buemels in second place, and Nickton takes 3rd. And that is your constructor's prediction bang on the nose, but and Nickton instead of copying.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm quite happy I got 1-2. Doesn't often happen, and I'll take that.
For the
but
first
great
time,
racing.
Though, we've actually seen a good finishing position for just chilling. I think, that's the best finish I've seen him get in a long time. I've not seen him really get anything super fantastic, but it's how it panned out. And for the first time as well, Hazard making mistakes, and you, sir, are going to have to eat your words. But I do actually have to ask you, before we go any further, who's the driver of the day?
It's got to be Martin G. We're all sitting there going, he's never going to win this race. He's never going to win this race. Edison's got so much more ERS. Edison has a 3-second penalty. Martin G's the winner. The moment that penalty came up, it was a slam dunk for Martin G to win. No two ways about it.
Absolutely, I'm with you completely. Martin G deserves driver of the day. He held in there perfectly, completely managed his nerves, completely managed the car. The other thing he didn't manage to do well, and I've critiqued it a lot, is his ERS levels. But everything else was absolutely perfect, and that is why he is taking the top step today. That is Martin G getting that trophy handed over to him. He's going to be very happy with his performance overall, and in a second he's going to get that champagne spray out that he deserves. There it is. Buemel's joining him as well. I think that's the first time we've seen Buemel's deliver such an exception. He came out of nowhere as well. He was so far back for quite a while, and then all of a sudden he's on the back of Nickton, and then I'll say he doesn't have to do anything else. He's just managed that gap throughout, managed to jump him on the step. He's now P2, and here is the rundown at the end of that Grand Prix. Martin G takes the race win from 3rd place and driver of the day to go with it too. Buemel's takes P2 with then Nickton in P3 as a result of that penalty received earlier on for corner cutting. Yonti takes 4th with Yon in 5th. Copy takes 6th with Just Chillin' in 7th. Meister takes 8th. Yotek takes 9th. And Rainbow closes out the top 10. Hazard gets the best of the rest. He's had a very dramatic race overall. Mizzo is in 12th place with Brownie in 13th. Gooby 14th. Shadows and Dust and Beaker, Fossetti and Zerd all DNF from the race. Well, that is it for the Rwagnation League. Thank you everybody who tuned in. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you, MCAS, for commentating with me as always. We are now going to transition to open multiplayer lobbies. If you want to come get involved, absolutely feel free. But it is